Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yeah, every so often it happens that Ryan is right.
100% right. Not even a little bit right.
Tucker Pullman, 2 points last game.
No kidding.
My man!
Hey, neither does me running shirtless, but that turned out very well. Welcome to the PP1 Podcast. Oh man, it's good to be back. I know you're a little rattled, little interesting day for you, but
I'm good now.
it's good to be. You got it out.
Out. We're good.
You know. Welcome everyone. As the title once again says, this is the PP1 Podcast. This is Ryan and Ted. I'm in my basement. Ted is adjacent kitchen at his own home. He's doing just fine. He's looking great. He's active again. His hamstrings are healing nicely. We're on the Dean Blundell Network. We are partnered with our good friends at Move Health. And speaking of Move Health, just in time, we started because we want to get the raw version, the unadulterated version of this guy who is fresh off provincial championships of the ball hockey world. Our good friend, Dr. John Lutz. How you doing, John? Look at that duster.
Yeah, but look what's behind me. It's even better.
I had a feeling you were going to roll in with a duster, and I had plans to shave mine into a duster to match you.
Oh.
And it wouldn't have been as good. And we could have had a three-way duster, and I don't know if that's a thing, but it sounds like a thing.
A three-way.
I mean, it probably is real, yeah.
It's okay when you're in a three-way. Didn't Lady Gaga sing that song?
Yeah, she also wore meat for a dress, so I don't know.
That's true. That's true. I don't think I've done that yet.
I got nothing against her, but I'm sure she said something like that.
Yeah, you know. So we've got John here. Always good to see. He's a proud Avalanche fan. They won the Stanley Cup. I saw a picture of Cale Makar laying in bed at the Stanley Cup. And then like later in the day, here's a picture. He's pointing on the Stanley Cup to his grandma of where their names are going to be. That's great. Good for them. Congratulations.
He filled it with a Slurpee apparently. So, and drank that. Yeah, he took it into 7-Eleven, filled it with a Slurpee and drank it with Logan O'Connor, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you stoked? This is your first year being an Avs fan. Are you happy you won it the first year you started cheering?
Oh yeah. Yeah. First year as an adult. I know the amount of people I get that like when I wear a shirt or something are like, oh yeah, you weren't a fan of them before. Like, bro, I have pictures from my room when I was like 5 years old. So yeah, it's been a long time coming for me. I don't know. Like I was 8 last time they won, and I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because last time they won is already lucky enough. But yeah, I don't know. Enough. Like I don't really remember it or pay enough attention to it when I was 8. But now that I'm an adult, like I don't know, kind of live for it when it's happening.
Just because of where Ryan and I worked and spent most of our time, I feel like we're just locked and loaded for all like the good chirps that you can do just to like get people riled up. So I felt like I had to drop it a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I've heard it all at this point. I'm just like, yeah, you can say what you want. Like I'm still happy. So that's all that matters. Yeah.
He's hanging the flag in the background with the big champions. I think that does enough talking for everybody.
The cat loves it though. He likes to chew on it. So I have to roll it up. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair. So what's going on, man? You did some ball hockeying recently. That looks
it's been for you. It was a long weekend, that's for sure. I mean, we had 9 guys in a 5-on-5 tournament, which is not exactly optimal. We went with 10. One got hurt in the first game, like second shift, so we played the rest of the tournament with 9. And then a guy separated his shoulder, so we played the end of it with 8. But yeah, it was a whole thing. But guess we still did okay. I mean, ended up taking home a trophy. So it was a very busy weekend, but a lot of injuries and stuff after that. My legs, I had to drive home the same day too, and my legs just by the time I got out of the car after coming back was just I don't know.
Where was the tourney this year?
It was in Surrey. So
okay.
Thanks for the drive home then.
Yeah, and so next year we go to Nationals somewhere out west. They haven't announced where it is yet, but yeah, so
that's good. The year that we did Nationals, it was in Winnipeg, so hopefully it's someplace better than that.
Yeah, there's talk of them possibly having provincials or nationals here next year because we've started Kelowna ball hockey and people want to travel here as a destination. So there's talk of maybe making that happen. So we'll see that would be nice to not really have to go anywhere. But
and so, did you play with our boy Rayburn or what? How did
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leading scorer Rayburn right there. Yeah. Daddy Rayburn, as we call him.
Yeah, the big slapper from the blue line with the big drop on it at the very end, right?
Oh, he doesn't even do that stuff anymore. He's just like he's kind of a plant himself inside the blue line, dish the ball off to somebody who wants to run harder than him because he's, elderly or whatever we're going to call him. And dish it off to somebody who likes to dish it to somebody who likes to run on his line, and they go in and score, and he'll probably pick up the rebound if they don't. So,
love it. So there you go. You and
I was going to say the clap bomb from road hockey, like great early spring. So it's still there. He just didn't bring it out.
Yeah, no, I came out for one drop, and I left with like 6 welts on me. That's kind of. But you and I will forever have that together. Then, John, we both won Provies with Rayburn. There you go.
Oh, he said it was like what 2006 or something when you guys did it. It was a long time ago. Yeah,
I'll have to dig out those old ball hockey shirts. I'm sure they're kicking around somewhere.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I don't know why it just dies here. It like comes and goes. It's so interesting. Like for a place that's so about hockey here in Kelowna, like ball hockey just comes for a few seasons and then it dies and nobody wants to do anything with it, and then it comes back, and then I don't know.
It could come. I feel like because I think play-on's coming back this year, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
I feel like maybe we should have some kind of like a hybrid Move Health PP1 Rayburn +1. Get his kids involved, because I mean, you guys both know me. Like I'm a trier. I'm not really a doer. So I'm gonna show for the part. I'm gonna get dog tired after like 2 shifts, and let you guys take care of it. And I mean, if we get past the first 2 games, great. James will probably start a fight. It'll be memorable, and John, you'll probably be the workhorse. And I think really we all look good, and it's a reason to go outside and play some hockey downtown. So I think we should do this. Absolutely.
I mean, me and Rayburn are already on a team together, but yeah, like we've already got our team planned for elite or whatever they call it, I don't know, whatever the high division is. But yeah, the last team that won it was my team, and I had moved away that year for school. But yeah, they're the reigning champs, so we're bringing the band back together for it, and adding Rayburn and things like that. We actually play with his kid now. His kid plays at Central with us, so Austin's been playing at Central. Yeah.
Ozzy's good. I mean, the last time I played with him, I think Ozzy was only like 14 or something like that, and he was still scoring 4 or 5 a game. It's pretty great.
Oh yeah, he's got some talent for sure. Less of the attitude that Rayburn has too. So good.
Give him time. Yeah. I think it seems
Rayburn. I'm on Rayburn's good side, so I don't see it. Like I'm not paying attention to it, but apparently he got in a fight in the lowest div at Central and stuff. Like I don't know. I figure with Central, like you play the same people all the time. The last thing I want to do is fight with anybody. Like it's just, you see them 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later when you play them again. Like why would you want to start that and have this stupid, like, I don't know. And teams like get made up and like break up and all these kind of things. So you play with different guys all the time. So I don't know, because I play with like divorced men who I play against in Central and like 5v5. So, but I played with them for provincials. So it's like, why would I be an asshole to them? And then,
Makes sense.
So
checks out.
I just want to get some housekeeping out of the way. You guys follow us on Facebook Live. You can definitely watch us on Twitter as well, on the Dean Blundell account, on our YouTube, our Facebook, the PP1 Podcast, not the PP1 Podcast. We've switched that the last little while. Obviously, check us out, subscribe, all that jazz. We are also, I should get this out of the way, we've got a potential sponsor that we're working with, and I'll get over that later. There's going to be some talk about how we're going to promote that. I sent out the tweet today to our group chat. I've been working out, just not in a way you'd think. It'll be a superficial way to get your abs grown for the end of beach season. John, we are definitely happy to have you here. But before we get into like talking about, how you're helping fix people, let's I saw this today and I thought this was super funny. And maybe you can speak to the device being used here, John. And after we
I'm nervous for this.
All right, beautiful moment here at the Field of Dreams game. I think that's Napoli, and I think he's about to Jimmy tap him with the massager thing. Yep. Right in the biscuits.
I know what that is, yeah.
So there's been a lot of those out. I know we bought one, and then think we damaged the cord.
Just for Jimmy tapping, or
just for that? Yeah, it's just jokes around the house. But
wife must love you now.
I think she did me the first time. So, so John, obviously we've been going through a heat wave, not the one we had last year, but we're definitely going through the Kelowna summer. There's still summer leagues going, whether it's volleyball or we're playing slow pitch, or like you said, you got ball hockey at Central there. Heat exhaustion can come into play if you're not obviously drinking a lot of water, or maybe you're overdoing it and you're stretching too much or drinking too much water, and then all of a sudden you get injuries that you probably you overdid it to try to be safe, and now you're in a problem. So what are you kind of seeing right now in your office, and maybe what are some things that you're wanting to get out there to the world so we can tell people why Move Health is the place that they need to go to get fixed up?
So, like, obviously outside of everyone knows they get more sore and injured in the heat and stuff like that. And usually like heat exhaustion sets in, but that's like a medical thing. But as far as like bodies go, it's a lot of like extremity stuff. So like legs, hamstrings, quads, things like that. A lot of calves, a lot of like people that have lower back and upper back pain tend to flare up around now. People are like, oh, but usually in the summer it's better. But when it's so hot, people become more exhausted easier. Like you notice when you spend time in the sun, you feel really fatigued, you become dehydrated, all these things, and they affect our recovery. And so recovery has a big part of how much pain you feel. And so on days where you sleep less, or you have worse recovery, or you just feel worse overall, which is a lot of heat will do that, you feel more pain. And so people tend to feel more sore during these like hot moments. And I get a lot of people just like, yeah, my neck usually bothers me, but it's been really bad recently. And they're like, oh, I slept funny this day, or did this. And it's like, okay, how hot is your room when you sleep? And things like that limit your recovery and make you more sensitive to pain rather than an actual injury causing more pain. And so it has a lot to do with that, but also like the hydration aspect of things. Like you have less electrolytes moving through your body. Every cell needs sodium, potassium, chlorine, calcium, all these things to like operate and fire muscle cells and things like that. And when you're dehydrated, those aren't really getting to the adequate parts of your body. And so you get a lot of pain, strain, all those kind of things from that as well.
So if you're going to go swimming in like a public pool, maybe have a nice chug of chlorine and get some extra salt in there too, and that works. Right?
I mean, it is sodium chloride, but I'm not going to recommend you do it that way. Saltwater pools usually like a little better, I guess, but you get dehydrated from ingesting it that way. So I don't know. Even like Gatorade and stuff like that is so high in sodium and low in potassium and calcium and those kind of things. So it doesn't tend to help a whole lot. Usually affects people's blood pressure more than it does their like intracellular fluid and how well the body operates. So people skip on like magnesium and stuff too a lot, which is really good for sleep, really good for recovery. Like it's a super beneficial supplement or like thing you can get from your diet that most people skip out on and don't use a whole lot.
So what are you, I guess, seeing in your office right now, and what are you kind of helping people get through? What are you telling them to do to kind of get through some of these then, like as far as like a plan that you can put them through?
So a lot of what's happened recently is it's been more so like enabling people instead of like saying, oh, you did this. This is why your injury's here. We need to like, regress from that. It's like teaching them that, hey, this is why this is happening. This is why you're in pain, and putting them on the routine of like, hey, just start moving more, like getting, in controlled range of motion. If your neck's sore, you don't want to move it a whole lot. Start doing it in a more controlled range of motion. Some exercises, loaded exercises, things where you actually contract the muscle, because most people seem to think you need to stretch a sore muscle, which like usually doesn't help that much. It feels better temporarily, but it doesn't really do anything long term. So usually like some sort of weighted exercise or things like that tends to help a lot more. And so we put people on plans like that. Obviously some soft tissue stuff in the meantime, like doing muscle work and things like that, getting massage, it does help, but temporarily. Like the long-term stuff with giving them some home care tends to do that. A lot of the low back people, they're getting pain bending over, picking things up. And so I start them with my 3-pound weights and picking it up off the table. Then we move to 5, then 8, then we lower the table, go back down to 3, and we progress it up that way over appointments. And so it's progressive overload, which like anybody who trains or works out knows the importance of that, but it's so good for also rehab and corrective exercise, because most people think like you get your athletes or anybody doing like a cat cow or a child's pose, they're like, okay, what is this going to do for me? This is nothing. Like I was deadlifting 4 plates like a month ago. So, just
Speaking
things
to you,
like that.
He's speaking to you about how you screwed your body up. He's talking
Yeah,
to
but
you.
Ted's a monster. So I
He
hadn't
is a
fully seen him in
monster, but
person, and
he
then I
has-
was like, holy.
Have you seen his hammies lately?
Well,
I don't know.
haven't seen them either.
I
They're
don't know.
gone.
They're it looks like they went through a horrible disaster.
It wasn't a good day about a month ago, John. I tore him both bad. It was a bad scene.
Running to first
And
base.
You don't need to run.
And then I slipped in the driveway, and I'm pretty sure I sprained my ACL. It's not good.
That I don't know.
It's
Is that
been a
new?
rough go for the guy.
It's not good. Yeah, I'm struggling here. Yeah.
Was the ACL
He
a new
doesn't-
thing?
Hey,
Is the ACL a new thing?
it happened like 2 weeks ago. As long as I
Oh,
run in a straight line, it's fine.
huh.
I mean, ACL is usually good for that. Yeah. Second you go to plant and twist, it doesn't like that anymore. Yeah.
I can't make right hand turns. So if I don't run the bases backwards, it's okay. I'm actually done playing ball. I think for the next little bit, we'll have to heal this stuff up.
I was
See, all he has to do is just hit home runs, and then he doesn't have to run. So,
I
which
can't even
he
do
did
that
against
anymore.
us.
He's been trying to just place them in shallow outfield, get to first
Yeah.
base, and call it a day. So he's been playing first base for the last couple of weeks, which I mean, you and I have got a real connection from pitcher to first. I'm used to having a few of the girls there, and we've had some weeks where they haven't been so great.
We're just gonna have to get John out to come play with us. I think would be the best plan. There's
Now
days
you're
where
you're
we can
you're
just
still
play
on that
back to
other
back
team,
or
or were you
something.
just subbing John?
No, that was my team. Yeah, the Blow Jays.
Jays. Shout out.
Classic. Yeah. Only L we got handed last season was you guys. So and then we won at playoffs that season. But yeah,
We
so
didn't go
I guess you
playoffs.
guys should have been number 1, but you guys weren't there. So
No one knew to
unfortunate.
sign up for playoffs. That's why. Like, are we in
Yeah.
playoffs? I don't know. Did anyone sign up? No. Okay.
But yeah, we play Wednesday nights now because we realized most of the team likes to drink at ball, and they realize there's not a lot of places to go and drink after on a Monday. So
Yeah, I guess that's not.
so
a
we moved
Monday
it to
football.
Wednesdays. Yeah, but it just worked better with most schedules as well. So less late games also. I don't know, but it seems like everyone we played in provincials or in playoffs is the teams we're playing on Wednesday nights now. So I don't know. Yeah. But
Interesting.
it also got rained out on Sunday, so we won by forfeit, not technically by actually winning. But it's an asterisk. So
Interesting. John, are you a food guy?
depends on the food.
Have you been known to try would you go like off menu to get something that maybe you normally wouldn't buy? Like if there was, I don't know, like a burger that seemed kind of ridiculous, would you buy it like once just because you've been to so many places in town?
Probably, yeah.
Like what would be something you'd be? I'm gonna show a couple.
I'm pretty curious here about where this is going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
I figure we're
wanna
gonna have
know as well,
John
yeah.
here for a bit.
I tread lightly. I'd
Yeah.
be cautious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a good guy. So I believe this is the Kansas City Royals. This is the pulled pork
Oh, I'm in.
with Reese's.
Reese's. Oh, yeah,
And
I'd
it
eat
looks
that for
like-
sure.
It looks like they've got, is that like a croissant bun or like a,
Does it matter?
I'm just saying like they're adding to it. So,
It's flaky, yeah.
The day old brioche.
I mean, first
Yeah,
of
that's
all,
what
I'm
I was
assuming-
thinking. Yeah.
Is that like a 3 out of 3? Like we'd all be downing that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd eat it for sure. Yeah. I love Reese's. I love pulled pork. You can't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Until I've tried it together, I can't say I don't like it. So,
I'm
Okay,
Hundy P, and I had a pulled pork burger last summer that somebody chopped up dill pickles and put it on there, and it was dope.
Oh.
Like it was really good.
have
And
you ever
it was
had a
like dill
peanut
pickles
butter
and, like-
pickle burger?
Yes.
I
So
haven't had
good.
with the pickles, but I've had the peanut butter and like the bacon jam. That's
No,
pretty
you got to do
Yeah.
peanut butter and dill pickle. Oh, not even
Yeah.
just. It doesn't have to be a burger. You can just do peanut butter and dill
Yeah.
pickle sandwich, and it's really
Yeah.
good.
good to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of with the dill pickle salad, they've got that now. Here's another one. Rob Fay posted this one. This one is you've got the chicken, you've got the ice cream, and a bourbon. I think it's buffalo chicken and a bourbon, like a barbecue sauce or whatever kind of sauce in there. Let's show that one again. What do you guys think on that one?
I'm probably
mean,
out
I'm
on
in,
that
I think.
one. I'm probably out on that one unless I can get it in like a slider size. I think because that looks
Oh.
that's aggressive. I don't know.
So
I'll eat it, but it looks messy. I don't know. Like I feel like at a ballpark, I'm gonna be wearing half of it. So
I think that's why I'd need a slider. Like a small one would probably be really good to try.
So like we were talking about this in the group chat the other day, like where like Chris Phillips was kind of saying, like, I think we've jumped the shark a long time ago. Now we're just trying to kind of keep up and just keep it going. Like, where is going to be that line, or is that line ever going to be hit where we got to say, okay, this was as far as we should have gone. Someone passed it. We need to dial it back. Or are we always going to be looking for the next crazy burger to come out, or the next crazy, like you've seen the Caesars that are like 8 feet tall with, you know, full meals attached to them somehow. Like, what do you think, Ted? What do you think?
I think the line is when you're mixing shitty ingredients. Like I'm not into trying like deep fried prem with like a chocolate bar and a banana with maple syrup. Like I'm not down with that. That's probably not my thing. But if you're mixing like good ingredients, like that had like, obviously it was like the vanilla bean ice cream with like the bourbon chicken, the breaded chicken and stuff. Like you're talking about like two really good things that you're putting together. I'd be down to try that stuff. Yeah. And I'm cool with whatever combination. I just want to know what the combo is. But I think when you're mixing the cheap shit, I'm like probably not in on that.
Okay. Like I would think if you throw like, I don't know, like poutine or pachos or something like that on there, like there's got to be a line where it's just like gluttony at a certain point. You're like, no. I mean, I like
gluttony
food.
Is more like portion size, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the same thing. They would be adding, like, at this point, like you look at this. Now that looks like you're probably in a full hand there, I think. I would think. And I mean, even
it's a point where it becomes all about like the flair too, and not even about the food. Like the taste is probably awful for some of these things. They just like, like let's draw people in just because it looks cool, or like it's got these unique ingredients or things like that. There's a guy on TikTok that actually reviews videos that way, and he's like, is this like flair food or like actually tasty food? And like he reviews it that way, and then he's like, he'll look at it for like 3 seconds, be like flair food, and then just cut the video. That's it.
That's a good way of putting it. Flair food versus like legit food. It's got to taste good. It has to.
He has like a good slogan for it. I don't remember what it is, but like he has like a catchy thing that he uses to call both of them. I just can't remember what it is. So
I hope they don't do that to podcasts. That would be like, is this worth listening to or not? And the needle goes.
Not a nice thing to do.
No,
media
really.
Content creators shouldn't do that to other content creators, but they do.
No way.
But it's,
I guess
they're all in the business. Yeah.
So, John, what else should we be looking for in the next month or so? Is there anything that you see that you're going to be likely looking at when people come across and say, I need to get back into proper working shape? Or is it just kind of
I think a lot of neck pain stuff comes back. So like students return to school, but like also teachers have to go back. A lot of people who have been on holidays and things like that, they return back to their seated posture. And this is where it comes to like, oh, posture's the worst thing. I have the worst posture. And like, it's more so, how many people have been told that by their chiro or, places like that. But posture isn't important in the sense that it causes pain. It's important in like aesthetic and stuff like that. But because you spend a lot of time in one position, you can get pain because of that. And so it's not that you have bad posture. Like you could sit slouched, you could sit upright, you'll be in pain no matter what it is. It's just, or like if you spend too long in it, like I spend 3 hours standing, I'm going to be sore in my hips and my low back. But if I go walk around a little bit, sit down for a little bit, I don't notice that soreness. And so it's spending one time or too much time in one position that's bad. And so like, this is a lot of what I do is retrain people to be like, hey, if you sit at your desk all day, here's this exercise that kind of pulls you back, brings you backwards, and do that every 30 minutes. You'll notice your neck pain goes down significantly. And usually it does. So
when you're laying on your couch and looking at your iPhone for like 3 hours and you're swiping through every single reel on Instagram, that's probably the leading cause of that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And some people might not get sore from that. That's the thing. Like we can't say like, oh, if you look down at your phone, you're going to have pain after an hour. People like to blame it on that, but some people don't get pain for that. So we can't say that that is exactly what causes your pain. Some people have a higher tolerance. Like people who tend to exercise more tend to have a longer endurance for those kind of things. So especially if you do a lot of like upper body training and stuff like that, they tend to have a lot of endurance for looking down at their phone and not feeling pain. Whereas people who tend to not exercise, they have less endurance, they get pain faster, more sore.
Right.
So
Checks
yeah.
out. Checks
Well,
out.
Yeah.
So I remember in the spring I was in physio, and there was like 3 guys in there. All of them they were doing rehab on torn Achilles. It's apparently it's a spring thing. This is what I heard.
Yeah.
Especially with men, oftentimes in their like mid-30s. What is the quintessential like end of summer injury? Is there one that comes out that's like a regular thing that you see a lot of, like more than you do any other time of year?
That's a good question. Now you got me thinking about it. What do I see a lot of? Like, usually early season is like hammies and Achilles and all those kind of things because people haven't been running through the winter or doing that kind of exercise. Usually by like the end of summer, it becomes more upper body stuff. So like more shoulders and things like that from all the overuse and less of the underuse. So Achilles and, hamstrings are usually like just a lack of endurance or things that haven't been done through the winter. And then as you get towards the end of the summer, people have been playing ball and volleyball and using a lot of like overhead movements that they don't do all year round. And so so you see a lot of like shoulder, like thoracic rotation stuff from golf and things like that. But usually shoulders and like impingement or whatever people want to call it. I use quotations because that's not the right term anymore. And like tendonitis and all those kind of things, like so but basically just shoulder pain in general. We usually call shoulder pain non-specific because saying impingement, like we say it gets pinched in this structure, but they can remove that structure and people still get pain. So is it really being pinched by that structure? Probably not. That's an argument for another day.
It's like chicken and the egg in your world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
then you take away one and the other one still exists. So
that's true. That is true. That does make it tough. We'll let you go, but you know what? Because we've got you, like we've got the face of Move Health Kelowna. And Kaylee doesn't want to come on the show, even though she seems like a lot of fun. I have to see her
birthday tomorrow, actually.
What? There you go.
Yeah,
We'll have to Instagram her because I don't know. I've got you, but it's I'm going to see her in like a week. Gotta get back and make sure I'm properly ready to go. Has she changed her?
She'll beat you up, yeah.
Has she changed
no, it'll be pizza forever. Yeah, no,
okay.
She hasn't had to use it a lot recently, apparently. So,
which is surprising because she's strong.
Yeah, and you're gonna get her fresh back from vacation, so she'll be real strong.
Fresh meat.
All that energy.
Usually I would do this, but you know what? I would say feel free to sell yourself to not that way, but sell all right. Things, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. Let everybody know.
$5 is $5.
Let everybody know about what's going on at Move Health and what you guys offer, and just hype it up, because I mean we do it, but they can hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
So, I mean, we currently only offer chiropractic and massage therapy, but it's not only because, I mean, as far as chiropractic goes, like you heard me say, I talk a lot about exercise and rehabilitation and things like that. But the biggest thing has been enabling patients, and I've been noticing that's like the hugest thing that's different from other chiros is we're talking about goals that they want to achieve and finding ways to just make them feel more confident to do those things. People use pain as like a fear thing and don't want to try stuff and do stuff after they become in pain. And a big thing for me is being like, no, we're going to try it. We're going to do it. And I know it's going to hurt, but like, you're going to get better when we kind of push through this little bit of pain. And it's nice to have that like guided enabling approach. And I feel it's almost more like a coach. So anybody who's like played sports or, trained in that way gets a lot of coaching from me rather than just being a strict chiro. So we do a lot of that. And then Kaylee's great for extra muscle work and things like that. She does a really good job of making grown men cry, but also like in a therapeutic and effective way. And so between the two of us, we coordinate care pretty well. ICBC patients, work safe patients, we see them all. We direct bill for anybody that's allowed to have their insurance company direct billed. And so pretty average pricing for in town as well.
Do you ever have any?
What was that?
Do you have any problems parking there?
No, parking's great. Yeah. So inside Walmart, pretty easy to park. I mean, as the garden center opened, it got a little more tough, but now garden center's closed again. So a lot of space to park around there. A lot of security cameras too. If anything happens to your car, my car hasn't had anything happen and I'm there 6 days a week. So I don't know, chances are slim it'll happen to your car while you're visiting us. You can get some groceries after, which is pretty convenient. Yeah, I cut it down to 5 now. I sort of have Fridays off, but sometimes I go in. So, yeah. But I'm also on vacation next week, actually. So we're shutting down the office, so I can take some time off since I haven't since we opened.
Good man.
So, yeah. So it'll be nice.
When people book, we can book you on the app as well, right?
On JNAP, yeah. So once you book, you kind of make your own profile and you can log in, see our availability, those kind of things. And when you want to get in, choose your practitioner between me and Kaylee. And yeah, it's super convenient. Even new patients can do that. All they have to do is have an email and make a password. So even if you've never seen us before, you have that ability. And super straightforward. JNAP is like easily the best system. And so anytime you need to book, cancel, they send you notifications the day before, an hour before, through text, email, whatever you sign up for. You can enable permissions for like younger people, like people under 18, or your wife can see, your healthcare profile and stuff like that. But everything is secure if you don't want other people to see it. So super good for your health information and making appointments and all that kind of stuff. So,
John, how long is the average appointment time with you?
So I start with a 45-minute full exam. So we go through a history. You do an intake form before you see me, or Kaylee as well. We both like to really know kind of what's going on, any major health conditions you might have. And then we go more into detail in that when you get in the room, ask you a lot of questions, how this started. If you don't know, we can, dive deeper into that, what might be going on. And then we do an exam just to rule out anything serious, whether I think you need more supplementary care than what I can do. And then we get into like your diagnosis and how we're going to treat it. And we do a lot of pain science talk. And that's something a lot of people don't get as well, is where their pain's coming from or why they're feeling it, especially people who didn't have an injury or have been in pain for years, those kind of things, because it's a lot more complicated than just, I hurt myself, now I'm in pain. Like, it's not that simple sometimes, but it can be treated simply, and that's the fun part, to explain to people and let them know what's going on. So, and then my follow-up appointments are either 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So in follow-up appointments, we do cracky backy if you want it, some soft tissue, and then we do exercises at every visit as well. You get a home care routine with me, so I send the exercises in a PDF to your email. It's got a description, pictures, how much to do them, all those kind of things. I also have 30-minute appointments with people who want a little longer, a little more exercise. If I think it's necessary, you come in and tell me you've got 5 different areas that are hurting. Hard for me to be effective for you in 15 minutes, so we'll do a little longer. But the smallest I do is 15, which apparently some chiros do like 2-minute appointments, which is just wild to me. I've seen it. I've been to those practices. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's effective or therapeutic. And then Kaylee does 45, 60, 75 minutes, and then 90 by special needs or request. So, yeah,
I don't think I could handle 90.
That's awesome. That's kind of where I was going with this, because I've been to the 3 or the 5 minute crack and leave.
Yeah,
not really. It doesn't really feel like an appointment. It kind of just feels like
a
transaction.
You're a body on a table, like you're a body on a table, and they see you in and see you out, and you speak with the guy for 2 minutes. He gives you the flying 7, and you head out the door.
Yep,
right.
Much. Yeah, I noticed the difference. So it was when I was in to see you, John, there, and like I said, it is a big difference, and I think that's a lot of it is, as you said, kind of like enabling, but you're educating as well. It's not just you're getting to know why your body works the way it does, and how you can maybe help it along to not do some of the things that put you in the position that to come see you, I guess. So
you look at the media for like most healthcare stuff, and it's like scare tactics and stuff like that. Like, it's more frightening, and people feel like they're afraid, like, oh, don't do this stretch, deadlift and bend your low back, or you're going to get this injury, and everything's like fear-based, like don't do this. And it's like drilled into people, but nobody's ever saying like, no, you can try that. Like, you might not be trained for it, but we'll get you to that. And so like the bending at the low back thing is a huge one. People think that's not okay, but it sort of happens whether you want it to or not. And so It's just, more so teaching people how to do it and being more positive mindset, which I think people in pain would rather see something positive than being restricted more from what they should do. So
checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out. Beauty. Well, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys.
Come by and we can champion you this time because you've become a champion, as well as cheering for the team that has become champions for the first time in their history.
No, third time. But yeah, some of us are lucky. Hopefully soon for other teams as well. I mean, I don't like St. Louis. Hey, I mean, could be worse. You could be the Blackhawks. So,
okay, I think that's about as legit as it gets.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I guess Vegas now dishes patches for nothing, and then you've got Leonard who's out for the season now. So that's a whole thing too. But yeah,
we like chaos on this show. So
yeah.
There you go. Well, thanks, John. We'll let you go enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations on your awesomeness and your winning. And if you decide to quit on your other play on hockey team, come check us out.
Hey, I mean, I could play on both, so
good. Maybe we'll try to make that happen.
All right, sounds
Thanks,
good.
buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Take care.
Love John.
What a guy.
As a bunch of our friends will say, he's not just a legend; he's a beast. And we've seen that. We know that the caliber you have to be on a team to go alongside our good buddy Rayburn, and he backs it up. I guess the nice thing is he knows how to rehab himself if he gets into trouble. So
yeah,
kind of smart. So we talked about baseball. I do want to get into a few things. We speak of championing things. If you saw on Twitter on the weekend after golf, we did give away some prizes, which I have not got out yet. And I'm sorry, guys, if anybody knows, when I give away stuff, it usually takes me a few days to package these all together because I like to do a nice little letter and blah, blah, blah. John Sinke, Jimmy Mitchell, and Doug from Minnesota. We do appreciate the love from you guys. Mm-hmm. So summer skates and some PP1 golf balls. And then we've got that golf shirt back from our 100th episode. There's a few things from Travis Matthews, so we'll make sure that those all go out. So you guys can be looking in style for the end of the summer, end of the golf season. We're going to try to do a few more giveaways in the next maybe month or two. But let's get into some Canucks stuff. I believe this is the premise of what our show has been based on. The last time I checked, right? I think we're still a Canucks podcast or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different in the summer, right? I mean, you can only get so much Canucks stuff in. It takes us a little while to plan for shows. We've got some cool ones coming up.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I don't know if you can hint on some of that stuff, but
no,
the next couple are going to be the next couple are going to be very, very Canuck focused. But it's tough in the offseason when there's not a whole lot going on with the teams. We don't report on these guys' vacation times. That's not what it's all about.
No,
I was off at the course today and bumped into Brent Seabrook.
Oh, really?
So I know that he's not playing anymore, but that's what these guys are doing, right? They're out on the links, they're golfing, they're not thinking about hockey right now. Some of them are starting to train. Maybe you see some of these guys in the gym and stuff like that, but there's no news right now, right? So we got to find other things we got to talk about.
So there's a few things we'll get into. First and foremost, Kessler was saying that he'd love to sign a one-day contract, which BX did as well with the Canucks to retire as a Canuck. Is that should we really care that they sign like a one-day contract to be like, it's not like they're being enshrined by that team. Like, is it going to move the needle either way if they would do that? Like, if they just said they retired, who cares what team they finished on? Like, really?
I mean, that's the age-old question, right? Like, somebody says like, oh, it's so insignificant. Why do you even care to sign the contract? And it's like, well, it's so insignificant. Why do you care that they do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that's my question. Like, is this?
It's like, I don't know. It doesn't really move the needle, but it's a fun thing, right? It's saying, yes, let's sign a one-day contract is a lot more fun than being like, so Kessler asked and we said no.
Yeah, that's a story.
Because we have morals and we're sticking to them. It's been X years and we want to make sure that we teach them a lesson. That's so stupid. That's not, no, this organization needs its wins. And if this is a win and it's something that the fans are excited about, why deprive them of that? Right. I mean, there's a lot of people that this is important to. Like, it would be great for them to see BX come back and they love that. And it would be great for them to see Burrows come back. And it would be great to see them have Yannick Hansen come back, and Kessler's for sure on that list. Right. So why say no to something like that? I mean, these guys want to be part of the lore, part of this history, and they want to leave it in a good light and leave it on good standing.
For sure.
And if they want to have that like quality figurehead thing, like, I mean, when we were just going through the 50th anniversary stuff, look at all the old Canucks we saw put jerseys on and come out and be recognized and stuff like that. Like, why not celebrate that? That's such a good thing. It's almost like it's a lesser version of the Ring of Honor, but it's still, showing a little bit of respect to somebody who did a lot for this franchise. So if anybody's out there shitting on it, I just think like,
of course there is.
Why go out of the way
to
be negative about it? I don't know. I don't get it.
So the next one, this is an interesting one. So the radio rights are still up for grabs. I guess their deal had expired with 650. So the rumor is
63.
Yeah, maybe go back to CKNW or. So the rumor is that they might even go back, or not back, but they might go in-house. Does that change? I guess if it's just the broadcast itself, you could probably hire, Brendan Batchelor or whoever is going to be covering the team or Joey Kenward or whoever it is. You can still have that because you can hire them, right? It's just more in-house and they can control things a little bit more. But does it also kind of shield the conversation if the games are just through the Canucks, and does that free up like the Sportsnet guys to maybe be a little bit more critical? I was listening to a friend of ours podcast today, and they had a Bachelor on there, and he kind of explained that no, they're not, kind of towing the company line and keeping things. I'm sure they probably aren't allowed to say as much as they'd like to, but they're definitely not being fed a narrative either. So if that were to happen and they go in-house with their radio rights, does that free up Sportsnet to maybe be a little bit more critical on a day-to-day basis on all their shows, as opposed to the fact that they have the rights? Well, I guess currently they don't, but when they had them and all their programming surrounded that.
I mean, I guess it would free them up to be more critical, but I don't know if they would be more critical. I mean,
I'm just saying because there's no 1040 anymore, right? Like as far as a terrestrial radio.
I mean, I guess there is the more critical guys that always live within each system.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that so many of us go off the book a little bit for our more critical takes on stuff like that, right?
Sure.
And if a TSN or a Sportsnet isn't carrying the vibe or the rights for a specific team, I think when you listen to their shows or you listen to their dialogue, it's the big guys are always like they try their best to be very professional, right? They want to bring this professional vibe. It's not about like the shock and awe of the heavy take and and just harshly coming down on players. That doesn't happen that often. So I'm not sure that it would. I think that Sportsnet is going to take that sort of.
I'm not saying like the low road, but
low road. But I think they're going to take that sort of industry leader vibe to it, right? I think. I do obviously think that it would free them up, but I don't think that they would go that route. I think they would leave that to not their flagship stuff. So something might live under a Sportsnet banner, and it might be edgy or like have a harder take on something like that. But I don't think it would be their flagship programming that would.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it is an interesting topic just because, I mean, it's moved, right? It's moved from 1040 forever, and before that was CKNW, and before that I wasn't alive. So
yeah, I'm trying to think if listening to any of those broadcasting platforms post leaving was harder on the team. I don't recall, other than.
Well, 1040 didn't get a whole lot of runway after that happened. Within like 2 years, they were done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was some, but.
The last time I remember somebody being really rough on the Canucks was like, what's his face? Calling the twins, the sisters. I can't remember his name.
On TSN?
No, it was like a. It was like an old AM radio guy. I can't remember his name.
Like in Vancouver, though?
Maybe it was a Vancouver thing.
I mean, no, like
It's
the
old.
Boston
It's
and
it's
Chicago
pretty. It's
guy.
really old. But I remember being so young about it too. So I'd have to like get you the
I'm
name.
sure. I mean, it was out there for a while, so
Yeah.
I think they definitely proved
The Sedin
as
twins.
new.
How about the Sedin sisters? Like that's what he sounded like. I can't remember his name. Maybe somebody
Yeah.
will chime in.
Someone
now.
can bring it up. Obviously, it's gapping us.
Yeah, whoever dropped the Sedin sisters thing back in the day. It was like his claim to fame. I can't remember.
Not. I'm trying to think. Like not like Bro Jake or something like that.
No, way older than that. It's like
Oh, okay.
Dan Russell era, like, but not
Way
as
back.
cool as Dan Russell was.
Huh. Oh. I think I know who you're talking about. Now we're gonna leave it because I'm gonna be thinking about it on air, and that'll be stupid. Before we get to anything else, we've got a couple more hockey things. We are in a position, and I better read this properly. Actually, I'm going to do the official version. So, support for the PP1 podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, is helping you join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, including us, with this exclusive offer. 20% off, free worldwide shipping. In this case, it's Canada. BBHV20 at manscaped.com. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping. And if my math is correct, based on all those 6 million men, that's 12 million spheres that are being taken care of.
Good math.
We did get our little package. We are partnering up with Manscaped on this show as well as our Thanos show. That helps no one Fantasy Cast, which will be launching soon. And I can't wait. I'm getting bombarded with texts because our fantasy league is starting soon. So make sure you go on there and support us, because if you support BBHV20, and if you guys follow the Thanos show, you'll know exactly what that's about. It is actually quite fitting. You can get such things as the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It works everywhere, not just below the waist. They've also got the Weed Whacker ear nose hair trimmer. I tried that thing out of the box. They give you just enough battery, and oh baby, that thing works like a charm. I'm not gonna lie, it's in there. It is a proper part of my trimming routine now. I use it when I go cut the actual grass, and I use it when I cut my own. And it's absolutely impressive. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant. If you guys haven't used this stuff, I mean, we had a little partnership with them about a season or so ago. I swear by this stuff. I'm so happy that we got another opportunity to work with them, because it's a dream. I'll tell anybody that'll listen. You got to use this stuff, especially in Kelowna. We get a little bit of sweaty sack out in Kelowna, and it definitely helps you. Their Reviver toner. What?
Swass.
It works. I mean, hey, if you want to put it there, you can too. They've got their Performance Boxer briefs. They've got the travel bag, which in my case holds my literal golf balls. I have one. It's the tool shed. It definitely helps up. It's got 4,000 LED spotlight for if you're in the dark, maybe make sure the lights are on. But it helps get some of the little closer areas. Skin safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those little nose holes, as well as down south, where you definitely want to make sure you don't want to get any nicks or dings down there. It isn't 100% waterproof, but the trimmers are waterproof. It reduces foot odor. I don't know why people need to know that, but as I said, helps reduce nicks, reduces ingrown hairs, and reduce the risk of grooming accidents. So again, Manscaped, go over, use our code BBHV20 at manscaped.com. Check them out. Partner with us. Help them support us. Help us support you. Make sure you're nice and trimmed. Now, what I was going to get into, if you guys saw this, Ice-T tweeted this today. There's a dude that had an 8-pack trimmed into his hair, his chest hair. Now, Ted, did you see that in the group chat?
His stomach hair.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's stomach, not chest.
I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it.
So, needless to say, this weekend, I will be using my Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 with the help of my wife. We're probably going to have to draw this out because I want this to look crisp. We are definitely going to take a video of this and get it out there. I will be
get crisp to make it crisp.
Yes, exactly. we are going to be seeing Ryan's hairy
Oh
bod
man, your wife is a
put
saint.
to good use. It's going to be. This isn't going to be quite as good as when Aaron Pritchett got rid of all of his hair, but probably a little bit more viral, I think. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Anyway, Manscaped, go check them out. Reverse retros, they're coming back. Johnny Canuck, the original Johnny Canuck, is coming back. People are kind of pissed about it. I think they're going to look good on the ice. I know the whole point is you want to sell them, so you're not going to be wearing them on the ice. You'd be wearing them as a fashion jersey. I think it looks cool. I'd like to see them with numbers, because if it's at all like the original one, where the numbers are kind of like the football style, like we kind of did with our ball jerseys, but like up high, I could see them working out. The Sharks are going with the California Golden Seals, and here's the sell. If you're going to do that, you need to have the white skates. You need to go all in on that look, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be coming
white
back,
skates, white gloves. Yeah, they need to go Vegas style on it for sure.
They
The Canuck one, you're right, though. You need to see the number on the back. I just doesn't do it justice just throwing out the logo, because it looks like a Canadian Tire jersey.
Yeah.
So we need to see the number. If the number goes on, it looks good, then I'll be all in.
There you go. I mean, I didn't like the stick jersey when they came out with it a couple years ago with the new Adidas ones. As soon as they had the numbers and they wore them on the ice, I was a fan of them. So, I mean, I can even be changed, and I'm pretty critical on these things. A few other teams, the Islanders, you're going to like this. They're going back to Captain Highliner. They're going back to the Fisherman.
Which was everybody's request from last year, yeah.
It absolutely was. But they're not going to be putting in the teal. I think it's just the blue and the orange, which is probably a sleeker, smart move. Regardless, it's going to look great. And the numbers on those jerseys were fabulous. The big, like, wavy numbers on the back. I thought those were pretty awesome. And then the Oilers are getting remember the McFarland, the Sprocket jersey? It sounds like they're going to be going with that as a reverse retro. I'd imagine they're going to throw some orange in there this time and maybe get closer to, maybe they'll do like a white version with like the orange sprocket. I don't know.
I'll be excited when they put out, like, because they always do the ranker lists.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll break them into tiers, right? So they'll do like how many of them are elite. There's like, the mid-tier jerseys that don't even tries. And last year's jersey, I think, was like the worst of the worst was easily the Islanders jersey.
Which one did they do last year?
Exactly. You don't even remember. It was the same as their regular jersey. It was just this darker navy jersey.
Oh,
it's terrible. Yeah. So
that's a fail.
I always look forward to these ranker lists. That's kind of my jam.
That's your thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a few secrets, and I feel
we're going to list for like all-time Canucks or something. That'd be pretty good.
That takes a long time.
Yeah. So do ranker.
I mean, we barely get here once a week, so that's a lot of homework. We do have a few secrets that we have been harboring. The guests we're not going to give up quite yet, but I promise you, if you guys have been with us for this long, you've seen our guests. Now, Dixon Ward was a little bit peeved that I said that this will be the best guest we've had. Dixon, you're an awesome guest, and we love you. You always bring it, and you wears our swag. So I mean,
Dixon always tells us great too, which is
if we have to champion someone, I mean, he probably is our best guest. So this would be what would be like a limited edition guest, number one, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we've got a pretty awesome one. All I can say is if you don't listen, you're going to be missing out. Like this is going to make your summer. We also have a former player coming on. I'm just trying to lock down a date as well with him. Not a former Canuck, but a former player that hopefully we can pick his brain on some of the things down south that are going on, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about once I reveal the name. And once we have a date, I will release who that is. But the other one that we're working on, and this we can finish on, this is something that I've been thinking about for a little bit, and I brought this to you last week, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We're going to have a couple guests on to go over each one of these episodes. We're going to do 3 episodes, and we're going to do the Canucks multiverse. So Ted, maybe we still kind of don't know how exactly this is going to happen, but I'm sure many of you have seen either Loki or Doctor Strange or Spider-Man
or any recent Marvel movie.
So basically, you're all aware of how the multiverse works. it is going to be awesome because we've seen how the multiverse works in Marvel. But what if the Canucks had a multiverse? Because we already know the history that we've seen. We know how they've lost. We know how all of the eras have happened, whether it's the Sedins or the Messier era, or when the West Coast Express or the 94 run. But what if there's a universe where some of these change? What if there is a universe where some of these are infinitely better? We're going to take, can I spoil like one of them that we're going to do? Are you cool with that? Or do you want to hold it?
Let's just we can just go off on a few of them. Like what if just important Canucks moments and what, because I mean, the moments are the moments, but we're kind of deciding what happens post moment, right? So like what happens in 94 if they win, what happens in, 2011, what happens if they do trade Raymond Ballard in a second? What happens if Hamhuis never gets hurt, right? Like what happens if they don't take the Twins 1 and 2 overall? Like,
and right before that, what happens if Pat Quinn actually sleeps on it and they do get Gretzky the next day?
What happens if they get Gretzky? What happens if
Messier?
Yeah, what happens if Bert never punches more in the head?
All these things we're going to try to wrangle in. We're going to do 3 episodes of this, and I think it's going to be awesome. I know, Ted, your battery's dying, so we got to make it quick. This is going to be awesome. We have a couple guests that are going to join us, a conspiracy theorist that we've had on the show before, and I'm sure you've heard of them. We've also got some friends on another podcast that we share a football one with, and maybe one more. So this is definitely going to be something that's going to be exciting. I don't know where it's going to go. At the same time, I have a pretty good idea. It's going to be super awesome. So please check those out. We're going to be stretching those over the next couple weeks in between the guests that we've got. So that's pretty much it, I think, for this week. We managed to bring it back. Thanks for Dr. John coming on from Move Health and Wellness. Ted, I mean, it's been a pretty awesome summer so far. I know we're going to finish strong with this show, and I'm sure we'll have a few other things to talk about. Any final things from you?
Did you see that crazy sunset tonight?
I saw one a couple nights ago.
It was crazy.
Storm.
Well, I'll just say, because there's a lightning storm going on. Great. Yeah, going on while the sun is setting. And there's a badass fire off in the distance, and it's showing through red, and it's just like some Stranger Things stuff going on.
Yeah. Follow anyone in Kelowna on Twitter and Instagram, and you'll know exactly what he's talking about.
It's wild.
It's sunsets for days. It's what is it called? Miami Vice? No, Tequila Sunrise, basically. Pretty gorgeous stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This has been an absolutely awesome week. I always love getting back chatting with you. We are going to have a bunch of stuff coming. I can't wait, man. Like, I'm chomping at the bit to get this stuff going. My holidays were great. I'm happy to be back in the saddle. Happy to be back in Kelowna talking hockey. And who knows, maybe we're going to have a JT Miller trade to talk about at some point. Can't believe we went a whole episode without mentioning that.
Damn it.
Sorry. I broke the mold. On behalf of my good friend Ted, I'm Ryan. We're on the PP1 Podcast, part of the Dean Blundell Network, partnered with Move Health and Wellness, and for the immediate future, Manscaped. Check them out, BBHV20.